Hi, friends. Welcome. If you've not met me, hi, my name is Kyla. I'm a personal trainer, yoga teacher, and doTERRA advocate, and I love all things awesome and natural. And what I don't love is fighting with technology. And to start this, it just took so long. I don't know what was happening, but if you know me, that's not unusual for me to have tech problems. So funny. Thanks for joining. We're going to talk about essential oils today. We're going to talk about doTERRA essential oils, and I'm probably going to take up about 30 to 40 minutes of your time. Maybe I can even whip through that earlier or quicker if there isn't any questions. So if you do hop on during the live, you're welcome to add questions in the chat. If you happen to be watching this after, I'm pretty sure that your questions will come to my email, so go ahead and post them there. Otherwise, I'm going to put my email just in the comment section, and you can just send them directly there. Yeah, so I'm going to speak to the oils as if you've never used them before, and maybe you have. Maybe you're watching this video and you are already using essential oils, maybe doTERRA, maybe a different oil, and I just hopefully you can learn something from this as well. I'm sure you will. So just a couple things I want to go over, just 3 things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about what an essential oil is, how we use them, why we choose doTERRA. And then in those topics, we're going to break it down a little bit more as well. So there's some really cool things about oils. There's 3 really great things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the different ways to use them, like I said. And then in that as well, I'll support you in how you can start using the oils and get them into your home if you don't already. A little bit about myself before I start yabbering on about oils. Why should you trust me with this information? So I've worked in health and fitness for almost 16 years. I've been a personal trainer since I was 21. Yeah. And have been working in the wellness field in various different ways. I teach yoga, I teach mindfulness, and in the last 2 years have been working directly with doTERRA and implementing my oils in my teaching practices, in my clients' programs, and in my own life very much. So I've been a customer of doTERRA's for about 5 years. So most of my years in fitness were spent competing, prepping for photo shoots, going to big fitness expos all over the US, and having lots of photo shoots, a lot of like sugar-free and fat-free. That trend died quite a long time ago, thankfully, but it was still there for quite some time. And as I sort of rolled into my 30s, I started to care just a little bit more about what was going on inside of my body and what was going in my body. So I started to pare back some of the products that I was taking in, and I started to look a little bit more in depth at what was going in and on my body. So after a 10-year relationship with a pharmaceutical grade, high quality sports nutrition company, I was sponsored with them for 10 years. I cut that relationship off and I moved fully into supporting my health with doTERRA essential oils. So here I am now, probably about 3.5 years post of that breakup. And really feeling so good. And so I want to share with you some of my practices. We'll talk about that probably in and amongst this lecture, but that's how I started with the oils. And I've just seen nothing but great things in my life, in friends and family's life, in my clients and friends and oil customers. It's medicine. So I think because oils seem to be this really trendy thing right now, everyone sort of thinks that they're new and they're questioning them. Fair enough, you should question everything. However, we've been using essential oils and plant medicines for as long as time. I always pronounce his name wrong, but Hippocrates, he's the modern medicine. He was using essential oils and herbs from like 400 BC. these are not new. These are not new. Europe has been using essential oils in their medical training and their medical practices for years. The North American crew, we're so slow. We're just coming back into it. But basically, all of our modern day medicine is a synthetic version of a plant. Okay, so what we're doing with pure oils is we're just going back to the roots. We're going back to the original. We're going back to the medicine that the earth provides us. Thank you for that. And so, because there are so many different brands, sorry, I keep doing this. There's so many different brands of essential oils right now. You want to be really careful and really aware as to where all of these oils, where are these plants being sourced from? So the difference with doTERRA to other brands is that doTERRA works directly with the farmers in the countries in which that plant is native. And the reason for that is the quality of the soil, the harvesting practices, the temperature, the climate, all of the things that go into growing a plant are at the utmost standards in the country in which that plant is native to. And so what that means is the plant is going to have the highest of chemical constituents. So lavender, as an example, you can grow lavender anywhere and it's going to smell really beautiful and it's going to look really beautiful, but it's not going to have the therapeutic chemical constituents that the oil needs to be considered therapeutic unless it's grown in its native land, which is France and Bulgaria, which is where our lavender oil comes from. Frankincense comes from a really, really challenged environment in Somalia. And you can find frankincense in any essential oil company, but you want to ask them questions. Where is this sourced from? Who sourced it? Do you have a relationship with farmers? So doTERRA works so closely with the farmers of each of these, in each of these countries, in each of these provinces, in each of these locations. And they sometimes spend years building relationships with them because they have had such poor relationships in the past with oil brokers who are just trying to get as much out of them and paying them very, very, very little. And so doTERRA puts in time and builds these relationships with these farmers. And what they do, instead of purchasing the land, because doTERRA could totally pay for the land, they could buy the farms and just pay the farmers. Oh, hi, Danielle. So nice to see you. But what they do instead is they create, first they pay their farmers year round. They pay men and women equally, which is really obviously very important. Year-round wages, even if a harvest is only 1 month long, they're getting paid all year. And my favorite part is that they work hand in hand with the farmers to set them up on microloan programs so that the farmers can then turn around and own the land and have their own farm and then hire in their community and support their community time and time over. So not only is the farmer getting paid and the farmer's family is getting financial aid and food and housing, but now they're able to support their community. It's just really, really beautiful. So sourcing naturally from the native land of that plant is really, really important when it comes to the quality of your oil. And then just the fun part of that, the really beautiful part of that, is the relationships that doTERRA has built with these farmers all across the world, which has then in turn created mass industry, tons of jobs, money for these communities that are often really struggling. Yeah, so it's just all of the love keeps spreading out. It's so, so beautiful. So what is an essential oil anyways? Because they're just everywhere you look. An essential oil is just a volatile aromatic compound. It's essentially the immune body of a plant. And so fun fact, I just learned this maybe last year. A plant and a human in our chemical constituent makeup, we're only 4% different. 4%. So our bodies are so similar to a plant, so we know exactly what to do with that natural substance. We struggle a bit with synthetic product, but our body knows what to do with natural substance. It's really, really beautiful. So that's really all an essential oil is. And so if you look on, let me pull up an orange oil. Another fun little test, if you're out and about shopping and you see an orange oil or a peppermint or a lemon or something that you know we can eat, we eat these all the time, and the bottle says 100% pure, do not ingest, do not apply topically to the skin, call 911 if it gets on your body, keep away from children, like if it has all of these warnings, that's got to be a really big red flag for you, because if it's pure orange oil, of course you can ingest that. Of course that can go on your skin. It's just orange. So that's something to really take note of. So doTERRA is 100% pure oil in every bottle. Every drop in this 15 ml bottle, there's 250 drops. Every drop is pure peppermint oil. And the reason we know that is doTERRA has an in-house testing protocol where they run through a gamut of tests just to make sure that the exact chemical constituents that they're looking for to be considered therapeutic are met. And then when those are done, a third-party company comes in and does their own round of testing to find similar and then some other standards, just to make sure that everything is met. And that third-party company tests for multiple other essential oil brands. However, doTERRA is the only brand, the only company that lets them publish their test results. So on the bottom of every single bottle, you can't see it, but there are some numbers there. Every single bottle is going to have a different number. You can go right onto a website called source2u.com. I'm going to type that in just so that you have it, source2u.com. And you can plug that little number in, and it's going to pull up the full chemical constituent of this bottle. And so if you know how to read those, which some people do, I don't, you're going to be able to know exactly what's in here. And doTERRA won't bottle a bottle of oil unless every single bottle is the exact same, okay? Because they want to make sure that if you've had a really beautiful experience with peppermint, because I'm holding it. If you've had a really beautiful experience with peppermint oil, they want to make sure that you are having that exact same experience every single time you buy peppermint, okay? And because of those testings, doTERRA carries the title CPTG, which is Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And because of that testing and that standard, that quality, doTERRA is the only essential oil company that is trusted in multiple medical universities, medical clinics, hospitals. There's about to be an oncology clinic opening down in the Western states where you're going to go in and get treated for your cancer with Western doctors who are also trained in working with essential oils. So it's a really, really beautiful mix. There's multiple health insurance companies across the US who cover doTERRA, and no other essential oil company can even touch that. So I trust them so much. And so when I talk about ingesting, like I talked about earlier with the orange oil, I'm very clear that doTERRA is the only essential oil that I would put in my mouth. Okay, so please don't go ingesting anything else until you know that the testing has been done, the standard is there, and it is 100% pure. Please, please, please. Thank you. So I want to talk a little bit about the 3 really cool things about essential oils. We've kind of touched on them. One is that they're pure, natural, nothing added, nothing removed. It is just as it says it is. Oregano is oregano. Lavender is lavender. Tea tree is tea tree. Frankincense is frankincense. I don't have all the oils here because I would just be here all night long. And yeah, I don't need to. So they're safe. They're totally safe. They're safe and effective. So again, like we talked about our bodies being essentially that of a plant, that's what makes them so effective. Our body knows exactly what to do. So if we need, let's use wild orange as an example. So wild orange is a really uplifting, really invigorating, happy, mood-supporting oil. It's also excellent if you have constipation or if your little one is constipated. It's a real fan favorite for moms. So if you ingest a little bit, or you rub it on your belly, or you rub it in your hands, your body's going to know what to do with it. If you're needing that uplifting mood, it's going to trigger everything in your system. You're going to be uplifted. If your body is needing digestive support, it's going to go there, which is really, really cool. And now the way that that happens is, here's a fun little thing. As you inhale an oil, which is one of the 3 ways that we use them, there are 3 ways that we use oils. Inhaling, or aromatic, is one way. And now that can be just as I did through the bottle. It can be a drop in your hand, rub them together. This is one of my favorite practices. And then just take in 3 big breaths. Or if you have a diffuser and you have your oil going in a diffuser, that's all versions of aromatic use. So what happens when we breathe in an oil or any smell is that the particles come up into our nose and they hit our olfactory bulb, which is somewhere up in here. And that triggers our limbic system, which is a part of our brain that controls our emotions. So if you think about when you smell grandma's banana bread, or your high school sweetheart's cologne or perfume, and it triggers that, like, oh, that triggers that emotion in you, right? That's what's happening. And so when we use our oils, if we want a really quick response emotionally, you're going to want to smell them. So that's the quickest way to get the oils into your system, is aromatically smelling them. Okay. Second way to use the oils is topically. It's probably my favorite way to use the oils. I always just cover myself in oil. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to it. Now, some things to think about when you're putting oils on topically. So dilution is a pretty important topic. So diluting with a carrier oil, such as a fractionated coconut oil, or an almond oil, or a jojoba, or a rose hip, or anything really, avocado oil. You could even use olive oil, but it's going to smell like olive oil. So there's a few reasons we do that. First reason is being a volatile aromatic compound. As soon as you put a drop in your hand, now you won't be able to see this, it is going to start evaporating and you're going to lose a little bit of the oil. That was frankincense, very special oil. I should put that on me. Yeah, so it's going to start to flash, evaporate a little bit. Whereas if you had some carrier oil weighting that down, you're not going to lose as much. It's going to sit there a little bit longer. Another great reason that you'd want to use a carrier oil is it's going to cover way more surface space. So you're going to get way more longevity out of your oil, and you're going to be able to cover much more of your body. And then the third reason that you would want to use carrier oil when you're putting oils on topically is in case you have sensitive skin, or if you're applying oil to a little one, or to a senior, or someone who's just a bit more sensitive, that carrier oil is just going to soften everything a little bit. Okay. So I will say I don't always use a carrier oil. I don't have particularly sensitive skin, and I often am just lazy and I don't want to go get it. So I will just directly put oil on my body. Okay. So there's no harm in doing it that way. There are some oils that are warmer, like cinnamon, clove, oregano. We've got an On Guard blend, which is the immunity blend. There's some warm oils in there. So what you will notice if you apply that topically without a carrier is that you might feel warm. You might get a little bit red. Some people maybe even. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. And if you're uncomfortable, just simply put a carrier oil on it just to dilute it there. So those hotter, warmer oils, generally, I try to keep diluted, particularly if you're using them on little ones. Just really keep that nice and diluted. Yeah, so aromatically, topically, and then the third is ingesting, so internally. And like I said earlier, 110%, please only ingest doTERRA, please. But internally, so as an example, if you have an upset tummy, you could gravitate towards peppermint, or I don't have it with me, but it's called Digest Zen or Zengest, different in Canada and the US. And it is probably one of my favorite oils at supporting upset tummy, indigestion, gas, heartburn, all the things. Think of a Pepto-Bismol commercial. So 1 to 2 drops just in your water. Take that back. It's getting right into your system. Another way I like to take my oils internally, and I do this every day, is I'll take citrus oils and I'll play with them. It could be lemon, it could be lime, it could be grapefruit, it could be tangerine, it could be wild orange, it could be green mandarin, it could be any of the citrus oils. And I'll put a drop or two in my water and I'll get that into my system. And the reason that I do that, and I suggest this with all of my people, my clients, and my oil customers, is our citrus oils are so cleansing. They're so cleansing and naturally detoxifying. And so by getting that into your system, you're just helping to keep your gut clean. You're helping to keep all the digestive tract, everything from here down clean, so that your body can function a bit more smoothly. Okay, so now if you're going to ingest your oils, the only thing I want to tell you is you want to make sure you're using a glass or a metal container. If you're putting your oils into plastic, they are so pure, they are actually going to leach the plastic. So we don't want to be drinking our plastic chemicals, yeah? So glass or metal or tin or something like that. And then there's also some oils that are just more effective if you ingest them. And so some of the oils, let me see if I can find one here. Some of the oils will actually have nutritional information on it. And with those particular oils, and then you'll see that some don't. Yeah. So the ones with the nutritional information, you know that the best way to use that oil, the most effective, the most supportive to your body, is going to be internal use. Now you can this is frankincense. You can absolutely use this topically or aromatically and also have really beautiful results, but it's intended for its best use to be internal, okay? Frankincense is amazing at cellular regeneration, cognitive health, cognitive functions, cellular repair. It's just like, it's called the king of oils for a reason. I have some customers who use frankincense daily in their concussion recovery, customers who have used it with their young children who maybe aren't speaking when they should be, they're not quite walking, things aren't happening at the speed in which they think they should. Frankincense has been really supportive in speeding everything up. It's excellent for the skin as it's helping that cellular regeneration. It helps to bring out like a natural glow, supports wrinkles, scars, stretch marks, sunspots, discoloration of the skin. Really beautiful oil. So we've covered that. So aromatically, internally, and topically are the three ways to use the oils. The three really cool things I wanted to talk about is that they're all natural, they're safe and effective. The third one I want to talk about, and sorry to be jumping like that a little bit, is that they actually end up being cheaper than a lot of our medicines. And now, for any of my Canadian friends, I know that we do not pay to see the doctor. My American friends, I know that you do. Now, bring it back to Canada, we might not pay to see the doctor, but we sure pay for the medication, and we sure pay for the time off work, and we sure pay for the gas to drive to the doctors and wait forever. We pay, we do pay. And so as an example, just as an example, back in the fall, I was coming down with strep throat, and I'm pretty opposed to antibiotics. And so I did a little test and I found this really cool study that oregano would kill strep. And so I took 3 to 4 drops of oregano in a veggie cap, because this is pretty potent. It tastes like you don't want it in your mouth. So I did 3 to 4 drops in a veggie cap 3 times a day for 4 days. And I was fine. It went away. It's gone. So I saved myself an antibiotic, which not only does it cost you money, it costs you months of recovery in your gut, right? 1 round of antibiotics messes your whole system for 6 months, I believe. I want to say maybe even a year. Long time. Okay. So the more we can avoid antibiotics, the better. And so if you're a mama and you have little ones and there's an ear infection or an earache, which I know is really common, lavender and tea tree, take a couple drops of those, rub it around the ear, send them to bed. I bet you it's gone in a day. Okay. That's like 25 cents. So it's just such a wonderful blessing to have medicine in our home in these sweet little bottles. And then it's just a matter of learning how to use them and respect them and learn about them. And yes, there's a lot to learn. I learn all the time. I think everyone who works in this company, works in this industry, is learning all the time. doTERRA does a really, really great job of continuing education and offering resources. Their website's a really great site to visit. If you have a little bit of time, you can watch some videos on their sourcing, which are just like the most heartfelt videos ever. And you can find out all the information about all the oils. So I'm going to just go through a couple of the oils and how you can use them. So I'm going to grab this one here. It's called Breathe, or Easier, depending on where you live, Canada or the US. Now, this is a respiratory oil. And so what I like to do is, if I'm feeling congested, which for some reason I am right now, I just rub a little bit on the bridge of my nose and then right under my nose. Notice I didn't do it diluted. I don't ever dilute this one. So if you have anyone in the family who's suffering from congestion or a cold, or they're getting stuffy, or they have asthma, this, or any respiratory issue for that matter, if they snore, this is your baby. So think about Vicks Vapor Rub. Get rid of it. It's got turpentine oil in it. Get it out of the house. And instead you can use Breathe. So just take a little bit of carrier oil or like an unscented lotion and just rub it on the chest or the back of whomever it is that is feeling congested. Put on the soles of their feet, put some socks on, and send them to bed. If you're snoring, or if someone's snoring, bottom of your big toe, and get it in the diffuser in the bedroom right beside them, and just get that, get those particles up in the air. Let's talk about, we talked about oregano a little bit, just like kills everything. So this is an oil that hopefully you don't need a lot, but you're always so happy that you have it. Yeah, this is brutal. This is brutal in a good way. Like, it's just very strong, works very, very well. And I always suggest using a veggie cap to take this. You can also use it in cooking, but you only need like a toothpick amount in there, okay? Lavender, we talked about right off the hop. Lavender is just so soothing not only to our mind. It's very, very calming. It's a great sleep support. It's also really soothing for the skin. So if you have a burn or a bug bite or a sting or any disruption to the skin, any reaction, an allergy, it's a great allergen. Lavender is going to be really supportive. So whether, let's say you have a burn, someone in the house has a burn, lavender is soft and gentle enough that you can totally just put it on neat. You can just do it undiluted. It's going to be really helpful. It helps get rid of burns really, really quickly, rashes and whatnot. So when I talk about allergies, I just want to mention this because it's a really popular blend. Lavender, peppermint, and lemon, which I didn't bring with me, are the equivalent of like Claritin. So that's going to be your natural antihistamine. So if you have allergies, you're going to want to get these three in your diffuser a lot of the time, or even make yourself a roller or a spray and just get it in and around you all the time. It is so, so good. So good. Such a great combo. What else do I want to talk about? I talked about frankincense a little bit. We've got tea tree here, which a lot of us are really familiar with tea tree or melaleuca. Our tea tree comes from Australia, and it is just super antimicrobial, antibiotic. Oh my gosh, it's not an antibiotic. Antibacterial, sorry, I knew it was a B word. So great for so many things. So it's great for your skin. If you are someone who breaks out, has problem skin, getting some pimples, tea tree is going to dry that right up. So it's nice to either just apply topically if you happen to have a spot, or add it to a bit of a mist, maybe with some lavender and frankincense, and get that sprayed on your face. So, so nice. Think like any fungus, any foot fungus, lice, all the yucky things, tea tree. Okay. It's also another one that you kind of want to not need, but you're always really grateful that you have it. And then again, all the citruses, just getting those in your body. Another great way to use your citrus oils, all of them really, like lemon, like I said, lemon, grapefruit, orange, lime, all the citrus. When I say they're cleansing, they're not only cleansing to our system, they're cleansing to our home surface. So they're a great oil to add into DIY cleaning products, which is how we clean our whole home, is with oil-based product that we make ourselves. Saves so much money, so much time. We don't have to go to the store anymore. Um, I want to talk about On Guard. I didn't bring it here with me, but On Guard's our immunity blend. So On Guard is, when I mentioned earlier that there's multiple medical facilities utilizing doTERRA, On Guard is one of the main oils that they are using because of its efficacy and its safety. So its ability to support the immune system and kill off germs and be safe to have in and on our body, you can't beat that. You can't even meet that anywhere right now. So doTERRA's On Guard is used in some NICU wards because it's safe for the baby, and it's also going to protect their immune system. It's used in a lot of cleaning products. There's actually a whole cleaning line when it comes to On Guard. There's a dish soap, a cleaner concentrate. There's a laundry detergent. There's toothpaste and mouthwash, which is so good. There's a hand sanitizer. There's, what else does On Guard have? Hand soap, like a foaming hand soap. All the things. And really, the more you can get that On Guard blend on your body, in your body, the stronger your immune system is going to be. So it's a really great oil in just oil form or in product form to use just as often as you can. It's a really, really great strengthener for our immune system. And then there's a ton of oils that are going to support your mood, right? So not only just our, when we think health, we think like our immune system and our digestion and all that stuff, mood and sleep and all of those other things. So balance is a really beautiful blend. Balance is used for a lot of new mamas experiencing postpartum. It's a really grounding, calming, calm to our central nervous system, calms to our body. It's just a really great mood leveler. It's great for sleep. But if you're finding that you are living with bouts of anxiety or stress, balance is going to be really, really great for you. There's many oils that would be really great for you. There's a lot of power in the mood support when it comes to plants. We don't need to go into it right now because that literally could be a whole other class, but the emotional powers that these oils carry are next level. There's a whole book based on the emotional properties of the oils. It's one of my favorite books, and I like to read it in our our Facebook education group as often as I can. So I don't want to blabber on too much. Basically, the point of my lecture is that you want to be really aware of where your oils are coming from, okay? And you can trust doTERRA's coming from the places in the world that the plant grows natively, from really happy, healthy farms with wonderful, happy farmers who are getting paid really, really well and building community in their own community. Every bottle of oil is tested through and through and through. And if the chemical constituents are not met, that bottle is not bottled, okay? So you can be rested assured that if you are using a bottle of tea tree, that every bottle of tea tree after that is going to be the exact same, okay? You can trust it. You can use them all sorts of ways to support your health and your mindset in your own life, your family's life, okay? Topically, aromatically, and internally. It's all safe. All of that's really wonderful. There's continuous ongoing education through the company, through myself and my team. So when someone enrolls with doTERRA and they enroll into our organization, you get placed into a Facebook group where we offer continued support. We're always posting, whether it's a DIY project or some information on an oil, or if I'm jumping in and talking about the emotional properties, or if we're hosting an online continuing ed class. There's always education. There's a place online that you can go and say, hey, I've got a question, and tons of people will jump in and answer it for you. It's a really great space to share ideas and learn things and just look at things slightly different. So that comes with it. doTERRA does a really great job as to supporting you in finding the right tools. So if you're new to oils and you're wanting to get started, what happens is two things. Two things can happen. One thing is that you start up with a I can't speak. You start with a wholesale membership, which is essentially like a Costco card. So in Canada, it's $42, and in the US, it's $35. And what that gets you is a 1 year membership with a company or an account. And you get 25% off of everything that you buy for that whole year. So you could buy one thing, you could buy 100 things. It doesn't matter. Okay. There's no minimum order. You just have an account, and you know that when you shop that you have a discount. That's great. Okay. So that's one way to do it. The second way to do it is doTERRA has pre-created really awesome starter kits. And these kits come with, there's a few. And if you have questions, I'll send you the link. But it comes pre-created with certain items, okay, for certain reasons. And in that pre-created starter kit, your enrollment fee is included. Okay, so that $42 or $35 is included. And the whole kit's pre-discounted. So that's going to be your best bang for your buck, is to start with an enrollment kit. And they vary from $80 to hundreds of dollars if you're kind of swapping out everything in your home and starting fresh with like all new cleaning products and a ton of oils and diffusers. Okay, so it ranges. There's lots of playroom in there. If you're opting for option one and you just enroll with your membership and you just want to pick some items, that's great. You can do that, and I can support you in that as well. Yeah, did I say everything I wanted to say? I think I did. Yeah. So I'm sure there's questions. I couldn't go over everything. We'd be here all night long, but I'm happy to dive in a little bit deeper with you and support any questions you have, support you in getting started. Clearing up any questions that you may have. This is for sure sort of been talked about earlier, but I do just want to come back to kind of the start where we're talking about different brands and quality and whatnot and questions that you can ask. Something I learned about the essential oil industry, it's really yucky. It's really yucky. And it's definitely not just the essential oil industry. It's many, many industries, but it's completely unregulated. So I'm not just here being like doTERRA or nothing, doTERRA or nothing. I want you to make sound decisions with education in your own mind. Okay, so something that you do need to know is that the industry itself is fully unregulated. So that's why a bottle can say 100% pure, and then it can also say do not ingest. So in order for a bottle to claim 100% pure, there needs to be 10% of the pure oil, and the rest can be filled with whatever it needs to fill it. So that could be a synthetic smell that smells like the plant. It could be other plants that happen to be in nearby areas where those farmers were feeling really panicked because the oil brokers were paying them one time and they needed to get a certain amount. So they were just like, okay, all of this comes in. You don't know what's in there. Okay. Currently speaking, doTERRA is the only company that's being open about their testing. Okay. So that means, currently speaking, it's the only company that we can really trust. And hopefully that changes. I would love for the industry as a whole to become a little bit more clear so people can really know what's going in and on their bodies. Okay, it's really dangerous when people claim one thing and it's not. So just be really aware, ask questions. Where was this oil sourced from? What are the chemical constituents? Is there somewhere that you can send me that can show me the makeup, the chemical constituents? Ask questions. But I promise you that no one will be able to answer those unless it's doTERRA. So just be really cautious about what's going on in your body, what's going in your body. Ask questions. You deserve to know the answers to them. Okay. And this goes outside of essential oils as well. Food labels, packaging, marketing. You guys, we need to be asking questions. Okay. So lots of love to you. Send me your questions. My email's in the comments. Happy to help you. And again, if you're wanting to get started and jump in and grab some oils, I will be your person. So after you're enrolled, I'm your go-to. I get to support you along the way, educate you as much as I can, share in this journey with you. And I really am super stoked to do that with you. So thank you so much for your time. I'm massively impressed that I got this done in 40 minutes. Like I said I would. My bootcamp clients would pay money to see that happen. I never get it done on time. So thank you for sharing your time with me, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.